Okay, so fundamentals of financial management is our first topic. Is our course. The first topic is introduction. We start by defining what finance is. You can see on the board what I'm defining. I'm defining finance as a discipline concerned with the generation. We underline the word generation and allocation of scarce resources, usually funds, the most efficient user within the firm who are the competing projects through a market pricing system, which is a requirement of return. So this is the definition, and I want to spend some time to discuss that definition in more details. The discipline concerned with the generation, I've said when you look at generation, this one is important, underline it. Then allocation, underline allocation of scarce resources, usually funds, the most efficient user. That is also important. The users are the competing projects. And the market pricing system, the required return is also important. So I'll look at each one of those and what they mean as an elaboration of the definition of finance. But before I look at each one of these, let me look at two slides that I want to discuss. One is why study finance. Why do people study finance? And I've listed 5 bullets there. One is to manage your personal resources. Sometimes you want to know how to generate funds personally. How do you allocate, or how do you manage your own monies? The monies you get when you earn, you get salaries. Some of you are students, purely you get allowances. How do you manage those allowances? So finance can help you to do this. It will help you to prioritize the uses against the sources of the money that you have. Then to be able to deal with the world of business, in businesses we require funding and we require allocation of those funds. So if you're going to do business, become an entrepreneur, then you need to know some finance. We have what we refer to as entrepreneurial finance, helping an entrepreneur to know what you need and how you need to finance your business. Some people are here to pursue an interesting career. You just want to do finance as a career so that you can become a finance manager, you can become a financial analyst, etc. As we go on, we look at the careers available in this area. Some people want to be able to make public choices as citizens. How do you know who among the many politicians are going to manage your resources well? Because when we elect these politicians, we place upon them responsibilities to manage our resources in the country. And we need to be informed to know what decisions they have to make for us to be able to make the choices of who is better for us. And there are some who study finance as an intellectual challenge, just because you want to be challenged intellectually. These are the reasons why you study finance. Then we look at finance in 3 levels. That we have personal finance, and this personal finance deals with the individual. That is, how does the individual manage their own resources? What, as an individual, do you generate? How do you generate your resources, and how do you allocate those resources? That is what you would do as an individual, and this is something that we need to look at. So we have said The first one is the private, which is personal finance. If you think about personal finance, we can think about the sources of money that you have. Let's say for an individual working, mostly will be salary. So you get some salary, and let us say, for example, that you are earning a salary of 50,000 shillings per month. So we must then ask yourself, how do I allocate this among my uses? And you're going to see the needs, the uses for this fund. For example, we can say you're going to pay rent, you're going to pay some money for transport, you're going to have some money for food, for clothing, maybe education, your own education or kids' education. What else can we think about? Entertainment. So we must ask ourselves how much. This sometimes is fixed. Let's say you are staying in a house where you pay 15,000 shillings. Transport to town, maybe 10,000. Food, you keep maybe 10,000. Clothing, you require maybe 10,000. Education, you pay fees. So on a monthly basis, you say education maybe you require 20,000. And entertainment, you would, for example, be very happy if you are to have 20,000 for entertainment. Now, when we look at the total requirement, we see that we have more. That is 40, 50, 60, 70, 85. So total requirement is 85, but the source of income is only 50. So we must come back and ask ourselves, which of these are we going to remove? Which of these are we going to squeeze and reduce the expenditures? This is how we carry out our analysis, and finance can help you do this for an individual. That's what I said, that we have finance for individuals. Then the second one is corporate finance. And corporate finance deals with the companies. How do companies generate funds, and how do companies allocate those funds? So where do they get money from, and where does this money go? What projects do we undertake as a company? This is what we are going to deal with in the whole semester. Therefore, I want to leave it at that point, which I'll be looking at this. And then we have public finance. Here is how the government generates funds and how the government allocates those funds. As a public, how do governments generate funds? And most of us know that the main sources of funds for the government are taxes. What else? Sometimes borrowings, sometimes fines. They undertake commercial activities, like there are parastatals that are earning money, etc. How do government use funds? Mainly, we are going to pay public salaries or public expenditure, like salaries to the administrators. We are going to construct capital expenditures, like we construct roads, we offer securities, etc. All these are uses of funds. So the government must balance the source with the uses of funds, and that is what we refer to as public finance in this case. So these are the three types of finance. I've said that we are going to look at corporate finance. Is where we shall be concerned with in this case. I'll leave the others. Personal finance will be looked at in second year, and public finance in third year. There will be a whole course for public finance. There's a whole course for personal finance. For this one, we shall introduce corporate finance as an introduction in this case. So we go back to our definition and ask ourselves, what are the